Namaste, Manduka crew. Danielle Karuna here from my home in Los Angeles, California, where I teach at a yoga studio called Love Yoga Space, as well as teaching private clients and currently doing a lot of online classes, both public and private. And today we're going to get into a practice that is literally just going to be delicious. It's going to feel so nice in your body. It's going to stretch you out. It's going to open you up. It's for all levels. It's just the perfect quarantine time practice. Whether you have been working from home and sitting at a computer or staring at your screen or the news, or even if you've been getting out and about and going for walks or runs or bike rides, this practice is simply going to be delicious in your body. So if you have it, and I know you all do, you're going to grab a blanket for this practice. And if you have yoga blocks, you can grab yoga blocks. If you have a yoga mat, you could use your yoga mat or just a carpeted floor or a rug. But I'm sitting on my blanket right now just to help my knees become lower than my hips. So with that, when your knees are lower than your hips, it helps the hips to release, and then it also helps the spine to elongate. And we're going to start in a seated position, just a little grounding practice. So grab a blanket. You could also use the back of a couch or some pillows stacked, but just something to sit on to elevate your base. So your knees are lower than your hips and your spine is straight. And then once you have a comfortable seat, commit to it. Practice being still. Close your eyes. Let the shoulders soften. Let the lower jaw unhinge. And just take a moment to feel yourself landing in your body. So if you've been at all distracted or divided, now is the time to feel integrated. So you can feel all of your attention being onboarded back into yourself. And so sitting nice and tall, just taking a moment to check in with yourself and notice what you notice. You might check in with the obvious physical sensations of the body, or subtle movements of the body may be more prominent. Your mind might be taken by something. An emotion might grip you. And you're not here to judge anything that you notice. Just bear witness to the process of life unfolding around you and through you. So simply being with what is, settling into it, and practicing not resisting what is, but rather allowing. So just allow for the unfolding, allow for the revelation of life, both through you and to you. And try to really percolate your senses so it gives you a fuller experience of what this very moment holds in your space, in your body. And hopefully you are home and you can feel safe there. And just remind yourself that you are safe. Remind yourself that the body is resilient. And for you to participate in a yoga practice, it must be quite healthy as well. So feeling grateful for your safety, for the intelligence and the resilience of the body. And just rest in that truth of what is. And you can listen. If you know this mantra, you can sing along. We're gonna begin with a really beautiful prayer. I'll say it first and then chant it. Sarve bhavantu sukhino. May all beings on this planet be happy. Sarve santu niramaya. May everyone everywhere on this planet be healthy, free from sickness and disease and virus. Sarve santu niramaya. May everyone everywhere look for that which is good in others. Right? Rather than looking for that which divides us or that which is different than us, may we all look for that which is the same and that which is good in others. Ma kaschid dukha bhagbavet. May no one on this planet suffer. May no one on this planet experience sorrow or suffering. And so this is a very powerful Sanskrit mantra. And just see if with the eyes closed you can feel its resonance within you. In your own words or in your own way, feeling this heartfelt desire for all to be happy, for everyone to be healthy and safe, for all of us to seek out good in one another, and for nobody on this planet to suffer. And if that does feel resonant in your heart, let it spill out into every cell of your being. And feel that you, in your intention, in your heartfelt desire, can become an embodiment of this prayer. And with that, you could sing along or you could just listen. We can all collectively chant Om together though, so take a deep breath in through the nose. Om. Sarve bhavantu sukhino. Sarve santu niramaya. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Ma kaschid dukha bhagbavet. Sarve bhavantu sukhino. Sarve santu niramaya. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Ma kaschid dukha bhagbavet. Sarve bhavantu sukhino. Sarve santu niramaya. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Ma kaschid dukha bhagbavet. Sarve bhavantu sukhino. Sarve Santu Niramaya. Sarve Vajrani Pashyantu. Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhagavan. Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhagavan. Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhagavan. For the sound of Om together, take a deep breath in. Just taking a moment to remain seated and still and allow for what is. And noticing if even the chanting, which is part of the bhakti yoga practice, the path of devotion, you could think of it as a path of trust and faith. If even the chanting has created the tiniest of shifts in your being, be it subtle or maybe even obvious. But taking the time to care enough to pay attention. And then with that, take a moment, bring your hands to a prayer at your heart and set an intention for this practice. And let it be personal and let it be meaningful. So you can utilize your body and your breath as means for prayer. Remembering that what we place our attention on is what we give our energy to. And every thought sends a rippling out into this world and affects it. So just being mindful of what kind of ripples you're creating and what ripples you're contributing to in your world. And I know we don't see our thoughts, so we don't realize the gravity of them. But one time I had a dream, and in the dream I realized that the blessings and the prayers that we pray for and bestow upon others creates a netting of protection around the very thing that we're praying to or praying for or blessing. So your thoughts matter. And let's be part of the solution, and let's try to lend to the collective protection with our blessings and with our prayers. And with that, we're going to go ahead and let your prayer be expressed through this practice, and we'll begin the physical practice. So we'll start on our hands and our knees. You can move your blanket to the side for now, or your pillows. And on your hands and your knees, you can set up for a linear cat-cow, so it could be just a traditional up and down cat-cow. Inhale, arching the back, and exhale, rounding the back. Or if you'd like, you can make it a little more fluid and you can wiggle. You can circle the hips and your torso. If your neck feels stiff, some head circles feels really nice. One of my teachers always says, if you don't have time for a full practice, 5 minutes of wiggling a day will do the trick. So never underestimate the power of a good wiggle. So just letting yourself move. If it feels nice to move linear, you can stay linear. Otherwise, you can make it circular, spherical, and breathe. Right? So the secret ingredient of the practice is the breath. And it's the breath that weaves every moment of the practice, every posture of the practice into your practice that makes it whole and complete. Okay, from here, wiggle in your other direction. If you've been circling in one way, go for the other way. And then we'll go ahead and neutralize the spine. You're going to open the right leg out to the right side, seal into the outer edge of the right foot, and start to circle around into that right knee. Getting into the right hip flexor. You might even feel it in your outer seam of the leg, down the ankle, down the outside of the calf. And circle in the other direction. Breathe. So when we practice yoga, we practice Ujjayi Pranayama, victorious breathing. It's a steady, even breath in and out of the nose. Keep your right leg straight out. Press into the left hand and reach the right arm up and open. And you can just get a nice chest opener here. So Ujjayi Pranayama, victorious breathing. It's steady, it's even, it's audible, it draws in and out of the nose. It's almost like the breath is mimicking the sound of the ocean, of a tide drawing in and drawing out. Go ahead now, you'll take your left hand outside of your left leg, reach the right arm over the right ear, spin your chest up. If your head feels heavy here, bend your right elbow, grab for the back of the head. You can rest the cheek onto the right bicep and spin open there. So the sound of the ocean and the sound of the breath are two of the most soothing sounds on this planet. And so with that, as we listen to sounds that soothe, it enables us to activate our parasympathetic nervous system. So in times of crisis, it can put us into sympathetic overdrive, which is flight, fight, or freeze. From here, we'll go ahead, come back center, take your hands beneath the shoulders, open the left leg out to the left side, and you're going to start to bend and circle around into that left knee. So when we consciously activate the parasympathetic nervous system, that enables us to rest, digest, assimilate, integrate, restore, and renew. Circle in the other direction. And at times like these, we need practices for self-regulation. We need practices for self-soothing. And this is it. This is one of those very practices. So enjoy it and embrace the fact that you're taking the time to take care of yourself. From here, you'll go ahead. You'll press into the right hand, reach the left arm up and open. Spin the chest up. Breathing in, breathing out. So the mouth stays closed. That can make the breath shallow when we breathe through the mouth. You want to keep breathing in and out of the nose, allowing the breath to pass through constricted vocal cords so that you can elongate the breath.
I'm not sure I understand.
Oh, hello, Siri. And then we'll go ahead and take our right hand outside of our right hip, reach the left arm over the left ear. It's okay that the computer doesn't understand how to breathe. What's important is that we know how to breathe. And then stretching up. If your head feels heavy, give yourself a little support, holding the back of the head, resting the cheek onto your left bicep, leaning into that hand and opening through your chest. Breathing in, breathing out. One more. Inhale and exhale. From here, we'll go ahead and you can take your left hand back down, bring your left knee back down beneath the left hip. On an inhale, we're just going to play around with opening the chest. Reach the right arm up and back. Exhale, take the right hand down. Inhale, left arm up and back. Exhale, take the left hand down. Inhale, right arm up and back. Exhale, release it down. Inhale, left arm up and back. Exhale, release it down. This time, inhale, right arm reaches up and back. Exhale, thread the right arm through of the left. Bring your right shoulder to the ground, right side of the head to the ground. Extend the left arm forward like a downward facing dog hand. Press into that hand to find more rotation up underneath your left arm and more opening through the back of the right shoulder. Find your breath here. So breath is audible, it's rhythmic, it's you listening to your own rhythm. And as you do that, you get to connect to your own navigation system as well. Trusting yourself, trusting your breath, trusting your circumstances. As we learn to trust ourselves, we can also find trust in our circumstances and others. And the more we trust our world and ourselves, it's easier to connect to joy. If we're suspicious all the time, if we're fearful, if we're doubtful, if we're insecure, there's not going to be so much joy. So practicing trust as a means for joy. Let's go ahead and take the left hand back beneath the left shoulder. Inhale, reach the right arm up and back. Exhale, take the right hand back down. Inhale, the left arm reaches up and back, open across the chest. Exhale, thread the left arm through. Bring the left shoulder, left side of the head to the ground. Right arm extends forward like a downward facing dog hand. Press into the right hand. Spin your vision up underneath that right arm. And you can either press into the entire palm or you can cupcake up onto your fingertips, wrapping your right hip back in space. Full breath in. Full breath out. 2 more. Breathing in. Breathing out. 1 more. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, take the right hand beneath the right shoulder. Exhale, left arm reaches up and back. Open across the chest. And release the left hand down. From here, tuck your toes, sit back onto the heels of your feet with your toes tucked. If you've never done this before, it's going to feel quite intense, but it is incredible for your body to open up the big toe joint and the arches. So make sure even that little pinky toe is tucked under. And then on an inhale, lift your arms up, hook the thumbs, lift through your chest. And exhale, cactus the elbows down by your rib cage. Inhale, reach the arms up, hook the opposite thumb on top, lift your chest. Exhale, cactus the elbows down. Inhale, reach the arms up, hook the thumbs, lift the chest. Exhale, cactus the elbows down. 2 more. Reach it up, hook opposite thumb on top. Exhale, cactus the elbows down. Breathe through it if you need to. You can always lift off your heels. Inhale, reach up, hook the thumbs. Exhale, cactus the elbows down. Beautiful. From here, take your hands down, point your feet. You can pound into the tops of the feet for release. From here, you'll come sit back on your heels. Walk your hands back behind you. If you have blocks, you might like to place blocks beneath your hands. Otherwise, you can just rock forward and back a little bit, opening up through the front of the ankle. You might also like to circle the knees around a little bit as another option. And you can circle in the other direction if you are circling. All right. And then let's go ahead and we'll place our knees back to the ground. Take your hands to the ground, tuck your toes, and come into your first downward facing dog. You can take a couple moments to pedal out your feet, reaching back through one heel and then the other, just trying to get into those ankle joints also. Make sure you anchor into all 10 fingers equally, that you're not collapsing into the pinky sides of your hands. Tip your sit bones up. Let your head be heavy. If your body feels tight, it is always nice to put a little bend in your knees for your dog, so you get both a forward fold, what dog traditionally is, and a back bend, so you're opening up through both front and back body. And then inhale, come forward to a plank pose, top of a push-up. Measuring out your dog, wrist directly beneath the shoulders, heels kick back, belly pulls up. And then exhale, draws the hips up and back, downward facing dog. From here, we'll go ahead and walk the feet forward towards the hands. Once you're all the way forward, and take your time articulating the footsteps, rest your belly onto your thighs. Bend the knees quite a bit and just hang heavy over the legs. Let the weight of the head go. You're always welcome to grab for opposite elbows, and you can just shift the weight around in the feet. Nod your head to release any tension in the back of the neck, to also traction your spine, creating space where there's compression in the vertebrae. And even just the weight of the head pressing on the chain of the spine all day long compresses it. So it's good to reverse that flow of gravity and to hang. Hanging is incredibly healthy for your spine health and your body health. And some doctors say that our health begins in our spine, right? So you want to make sure the spine is healthy. Nod your head, sway out the arms. And then we'll go ahead and take the left hand beneath the nose. You can bend into that left knee a little deeper. If you need to, you can come onto fingertips or place a block beneath the hand. Right arm reaches up, little twist here. Optionally, you can drape the right arm around behind your back, grab for the left hip crease or inner thigh, and then really rotate the left side of your chest open towards the ceiling. And then we'll reach that right arm back up and take your right hand back down. Inhale, the left arm reaches up. Look up to the left thumb. You can bend into that right knee. Optionally, drape the left arm around behind. Grab a hold of the right hip crease or inner thigh. And then spin the right lung up and open towards the ceiling. Take another delicious full breath in and out. So you really utilize this practice as a means, as an opportunity to connect to your breath. Come back center, hang over the legs, and roll up to stand, one vertebrae at a time. Once you're all the way up, roll the shoulders down the back and just take a couple shoulder circles, circumducting the shoulders forward and up and down and back. And then bring the full wingspan of the arms into it. Arms reaching forward and up on the inhale. Exhale, opening down and back. Again, forward and up on the inhale. Exhale, opening down and back. From here, interlace the hands into a fist, clasping the palms together. Little softness in the knees. Inhale, lift your chest, arch back. Exhale, hinge forward. Rest the belly onto your thighs. Keep those points of contact intact. And then tip the sit bones up, only insofar as the belly and the thighs remain connected. Let the weight of your head drop. You can reach the arms overhead like a weight to open through the fronts of your shoulders here. Use your breath. So you can always regulate your experience by regulating your breath. Your breath and your experience ride tandem to one another. So if you can learn to deepen and elongate your breath, that can transform the way that you're relating to your experience. From here, you're going to bend into that left knee, look up over the right shoulder. So a lot of opening of the front body today, really finding space in our heart and finding space in the fronts of the shoulders and the chest. And then you'll bend a little deeper into that right knee, look over the left shoulder, pull the arms over to the right. You can also know it for yourself, right? Like when you're upset, your breath is short and jagged. It's like hard to catch the breath. But, often the advice is, just take a deep breath, 3 deep breaths. And literally, if you can practice doing that, come back center, you can change the way you're relating to your experience. Release the arms down, soften the knees, roll up to stand. And there's not a single thing in this world that is not streamed through our perception of it. So as you learn to regulate your perception or modulate your experience, you change what you experience. We'll stand at the top of the mat in mountain pose, Tadasana. Feel yourself firmly rooting into your feet, and from that strong connection to the earth, feel a sense of steadiness, an unwavering centeredness to your being. Like you know your place in this earth, in this world, and you're staking claims on it. So you root your feet down. You find your center, and you also, from that, find your rise. You can find this expansive nature in your chest, in your heart. You can find lightness in your head, so not so heavy in your thoughts. And just take a moment to feel like you're standing in your best posture at attention, with attention. Full breath in through the nose, and a full breath out of the nose. We'll do a little bit of flow. Inhale, reach the arms overhead, gaze up to see the prayer. Exhale, bow forward, hands to the earth, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen the spine, open the chest, step your left leg back to a long lunge. Exhale, lower the left knee and point the foot. From here, you're just going to rock a little bit side to side on the meniscus. Now, if your knee is sensitive, you could stick a pillow or your blanket underneath there. If you feel like you're rounding your back here, could be quite nice to grab your blocks and place the blocks beneath the hands. So we're looking for rotation of the femur bone in the hip joint, in that acetabulum. So one of the places that gets really tight when we're fearful, when we're stressed, or from sitting a lot, just from habituated patterns in the body, is the hip, specifically those hip flexors. So just rocking to lubricate that hip joint, to warm up the fascia, and to invite some space where it may feel like there's stuckness. And as you're rocking side to side, if there's a place that feels, oh, I really feel that there, then you can pause in that one spot and breathe into it. And you might even feel it in your back, because some of the hip flexors go from your front body and they attach into your back. So sometimes the tension that we feel in our back is coming from tightness in the hip, and vice versa. Okay, and then from here, keep your belly on your thighs. If you do have blocks, I recommend having them beneath your hands. And then we'll rock back, flexing through the right foot, and then pull forward into a lunge. You want to make sure that your right knee is directly over your heel. So 90 degrees, your foot isn't behind your heel. And then we're going to just dynamically open, pulling the hips back and rocking forward. Pulling the hips back and rocking forward. And just like that, it's always nice to find some dynamic or active movement before we just come into a static hold, because it helps to warm up the muscles a little nicer so that when we hold, we can go deeper. And then eventually we'll come on back into just that Ardha Hanumanasana, that hamstring stretch, half split. You can walk your hands back so they're right beneath your shoulders. Send your sit bones back in space. Reach the chest forward. So be aware of what your torso is doing. Be aware of what your spine is doing. You want to make sure that you're not looking at your crotch and rounding, or trying to bring your chin so far forward that you're trying to do the pose with your head. Keep your spine straight. Reach the sit bones back. And from there, you can reach over that right leg. We'll take 2 more breaths here. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. And then we'll go ahead, come back into a low lunge. Take your hands to frame the right foot. Step back, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, come forward to a plank pose, top of a push-up. Exhale, lower in your way, all the way onto your belly. Walk your fingertips off to the sides of the mat and tent the fingertips up like you have little cupcakes and you don't want to ruin the frosting beneath your hands. Elbows right over your wrist. Inhale, undulate the spine up so you find segmental movement of your spine. And then exhale, release down. And we'll do this a couple more times. Go at your own pace, letting the full long length of an inhale rise you and the full long length of an exhale release you. You can feel the stretch from the pubic bone all the way up to the crown. Let the crown rise last at the top. One more. Take the hands by the chest. Press back into a child's pose for a moment. Seat to heels, belly to thighs, forehead to the earth. I like to wiggle a little bit. It just feels nice for me underneath my shoulder blades to do so, but you might like to remain still, or you can explore little wiggles. Remember, the practice itself is an exploration. It always should be. It should never be a statement from your teacher or just information from someone else. You should always be gathering information from yourself throughout the practice. And so I think it's necessary that we're always exploring what feels right, what feels good, what feels healthy, what feels healing in our own unique body. Go ahead and tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back, come into a downward facing dog. Inhale, we'll step the right foot forward in between the hands to a lunge. Exhale, lower the left knee to the ground. You can scoot the knee in a little bit closer so it's not quite beneath your hip, but it's not super far back. And then lift your arms and your torso, lift your chest, and exhale, twist to the right. From here, let your right hand either find your sacrum or the back of your left thigh and just lean back. You could even grab for the calf if you feel open. Open through that left side waist and into your hip. Breathe. From here, rise back up. Hook your left elbow outside of the right thigh. Bring your hands to meet at a prayer in front of your chest. Really try to rotate through your center, not just in your shoulders, so you get that ringing out through the organs. And you can keep the back knee down, or you can optionally lift your left knee off the floor. Just 2 breaths here. Firm through the back side of that left leg if your leg is lifted. 1 more full breath in and out. From here, take your hands down. Everyone lift your back knee. Take a moment, fold towards your right leg for a long Parsvottanasana here. And then soften into the right knee and step the left foot forward. Fold into both legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise, reach the arms overhead, gaze up to see the prayer, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, arms by the sides, mountain pose, Tadasana. Inhale, reach the arms overhead, gaze up. Exhale, fold forward, hands to the ground, Uttanasana. Inhale, climb up onto the shins for a flat back, halfway lift, and then go ahead and step your right leg back to a long lunge. Exhale, lower the right knee, point the foot. Your back leg is like a swoosh. Your front knee is at a 90-degree angle. Go ahead and grab the blocks if you've got them, and you'll rock a little bit side to side on that right kneecap. And if you've had any knee surgery, be super careful here. Again, listen to your body more than you listen to me. It's a big part of the practice, learning to listen to yourself. Learning to listen to yourself through learning to listen to your breath. So using your breath here as a connective tool into the innermost truth of your being. And the yogi masters tell us that innermost truth, the Atman, the true self, is Satchitananda, is truth, is wisdom, and is bliss. So no matter what's happening in our exterior or what the external circumstances may look like, there's always the possibility of connecting to peace within. Okay, and then from here, belly onto your left thigh, open through your chest. Exhale, pull the hips back, fold. And again, we'll do it dynamically. Bending into the knee, drawing back. Bending into the knee, drawing back. Keep it going. So I always say in your practice, you're either breathing or you're thinking. And we want more moments of conscious breath than of the thoughts. The breath is like the bridge from your head into your heart. So ride that bridge downwards into your heart and see what may be revealed through the practice through your breath. The breath is also a way for you to find a sense of expansiveness and spaciousness within yourself. This time as we rock back, we'll hold back. Bring your hands beneath your shoulders, send your sit bones back. Don't worry about going so low over the leg. Focus more on butt back, chest reaching forward, spine straight, heart open. Breathe. So as we find more space within the self through the breath, it also enables us to experience more space in our world. So if you've been feeling it all cooped up or isolated, you can find more roominess in the space around you by finding more space within you. And the breath is the magic means for that to happen. Never underestimate the power of your breath. Your breath is sacred. It is life itself. Let's go ahead, bend into your left knee. Step back into a downward facing dog. Take a moment. You can stretch like a cat in your dog, feeling long and expansive. And then inhale, come forward to a plank pose. Exhale, lower all the way onto your belly. From here, we're going to go ahead and take a Sphinx pose. So slide the elbows right beneath the shoulders. Pull the floor towards you, broaden across the collarbones. Feel the chest coming through the gates of your arms. And then we'll go ahead and bring the left arm to a diagonal. You can also bring it parallel to the front of the mat, but just feel into what feels natural for you. And then bend your right knee. Reach your right hand back. Grab a hold of your right foot and draw the right foot down outside of your right hip. If you have the range, you can flip your toes in the same direction. Yes, you can flip your fingers in the same direction as your toes. Try to square the shoulders here and just feel that front body open on the right side. Firm a bit through your belly so you're not overly compensating in your low back, but you're using the strength of your core in a 360-degree kind of way, all around the body. And then we'll release that foot, bring your right forearm at a diagonal or parallel to the front of your mat, bend your left knee, reach back, grab a hold of the left foot. You can go for the instep side of the foot, and then if possible, rotate the fingers in the same direction as the toes, elbow up, shoulders square forward, breathe. Release that foot. Come back into your Sphinx pose for a moment. Chest forward, shoulders back, collarbones wide. And then exhale, release down. You can slide your hands by your lower ribs, tuck your toes, move through a child's pose for a second. Stretch the upper body forward, stretch your lower body back. And then go ahead and lift your hips up for downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, go ahead and step your left foot in between the hands. Exhale, lower the right knee to the ground. Inhale, lift the torso, arms reach overhead. Exhale, twist, open to the left. Let your left hand find either your sacrum, the back of the right thigh. If you're open, you can reach for the calf. Right arm reaches over the right ear. Breathe. Don't force the practice. Don't push yourself deeper than what feels safe or comfortable in your body. Make sure you feel really stable on that back hand. Take one more deep breath in and out. And then we'll hook our right elbow outside of the left thigh. Bring the hands to a prayer at your chest. And then rotate through your center, not just through the shoulders. So the thumbs stay aligned with your sternum and gaze over the left shoulder. You can stay here. You can optionally tuck the back toes and lift your back knee off the ground. Breathe. One more deep breath in. Release the hands down, frame your left foot, extend the leg. You can keep it long, Parsvottanasana. If you want to step it in, you can step it in a little bit. Shoulders back, chest forward. And then go ahead and soften your left knee. Step the right foot forward and fold into the legs. Inhale, rise, reach the arms overhead, gaze up to see the prayer. And then you're going to turn your prayer into a flip. You're going to interlace the hands and flip the heels of the hands up. And then from here, we're going to circle a little bit. So circling around your middle, opening up through the sides of the waist, opening up through your chest, opening up through your back, through your spine, particularly that thoracic spine, the middle part of your back that doesn't get a lot of space on its own. And then circle in the other direction. And you can experiment with range of motion and speed. And just notice how the differences affect how it feels in your body. And then go ahead and come back up center. You can open out into a wide straddle position. And we're going to turn the toes in slightly closer than the heels. Hands to the waist. Inhale, lift the chest, arch back. Exhale, slide the hands down the outsides of your legs and pull yourself into a Prasrita Padottanasana variation. So you can keep your hands on your ankles. You could loop your peace fingers around the big toes. You could release the hands beneath your shoulders here. Shift a little bit of the weight into the front of the feet and out of your heels here. So you equalize the weight and breathe. Let the weight of the head go. From here, take your hands beneath the shoulders. If you have your blocks and you want to place the block beneath your nose, you can. Take your left hand beneath the nose, reach the right arm up, look up to see the right thumb. This is option 1. Option 2, you can take your right arm around behind, grab a hold of the left hip crease or inner thigh. Option 3, you can take your left hand to your right outer ankle and spin your chest open as you release the crown of the head towards the ground. Left lung spins open towards the ceiling. Take one more delicious full breath in and out. Release the left hand. If you're bound, reach the right arm back up and take the right hand beneath the nose. Reach the left arm up and open across the chest. You can stay here. Optionally, the left arm can reach around behind you, grab for the right hip or inner thigh. Optionally, the right hand can reach for your left outer ankle and spin open. You could bend that right elbow to release your head closer to the ground, but keep spinning the right lung up, open towards the left side. Rotating open. One more full breath in and out. Go ahead. Come back center. Release, release. And then we'll go ahead and come back into a low lunge facing forward and step back into a downward facing dog. Lower your shins and your knees to the ground and come sit back on pointed feet. And then from here, We're just going to do a little bit of neck stretching. Drop your left ear towards the left shoulder. Half head circle, right ear towards right shoulder. Half head circle, left ear towards left shoulder. And half head circle, right towards the right. This time left towards the left. Take the left hand above the right ear. Draw your chin back like you're giving yourself a double chin. The right hand can remain resting on your lap. You can optionally move the elbow, the wrist, the fingers, the arm, the shoulder, and find a spot that feels like it's really getting into where you need space. You can also optionally reach the arm around behind your back of the hand to your back, and just see what feels most opening in the scalenes, even in the front of the neck into your throat. And then just with your eyes, look up. Right? So paying attention to the subtlest shifts that we partake in and how it affects our body and our practice. And then just with the eyes, look down. So even where we look makes a difference in the posture and in the experience of the postures. Go ahead, float your head back center, release both hands down. Half head roll over to the right, draw the chin back. Take your right hand above the left ear. Make sure you're not letting the hand make your head heavy. Keep your ears aligned over your shoulders. Chin back to the throat. And then you can keep your left hand as it is. You can bring some movement into that wrist, elbow, shoulder, arm. And it may feel nice to land that arm behind you. Chin back to the throat. Breathe. And then with the eyes, look up. And then with the eyes, look down. And then you can go ahead and float your head back center. And from here, we'll come to lay on our back with our knees bent, feet parallel, hip distance apart, arms alongside of your body. Preparing to come into Setu Bandhasana, a bridge pose. So on your inhale, lift your hips nice and high. Exhale, interlace the hands behind your back, wedging the elbows and shoulders close together. Draw your fists down towards your heels. Lengthen the tail towards your knees. Lift your chest up towards the chin. Press the back of the head into the ground. Another opportunity to elongate through your neck, which can get really tight as we jut our heads a little bit forward, staring at screens all day long. And so really give yourself that cervical spine release. Chin back to the throat, back of the head into the ground. Press a little more into the feet and your arms. Lift your hips a little higher. Open, open, open. And then exhale, release down. Windshield wiper the knees side to side. And then draw your right knee into your chest. Cross the right thigh cross your right ankle over the left thigh, and then draw your left thigh into the chest. Flex your right foot, reach the right knee away from your center. And so we'll go into this figure four to open up through the outer hip. If you want to sit up and take ankle to knee, stacking your shins, that's another option if this doesn't feel deep enough. And again, you can explore being still in this position, just holding your left thigh into the chest. Or you could experiment with rocking a little bit and see how that feels in the body. And super flex your right foot, reach the right knee away from your center, but you could also experiment with lifting the left leg up towards the ceiling and flexing the left foot. Make sure your shoulders remain relaxed even as you grab for that left leg. And then we'll switch sides. Go ahead and take your right foot to the ground. Cross the left ankle over the right thigh. Pull your right thigh into the chest. Super flex the left foot. Reach the knee away from your center. Keep your shoulders soft. And you can remain still. You could extend your right leg up. You could make that dynamic, or you could rock side to side. So feel that you are at the center of your experience. And you're also in the command center of your experience. So no one or no situation can make you feel any way. You are in control, and the more that you consciously choose how you want to feel, by also being selective with what thoughts you allow to move through your mind, the more it feels your world is manageable. If not of your choosing, at least manageable. Because our thoughts feed our emotions. So no one can make us feel a particular way. It's all about how we relate to the information we're receiving. Okay, go ahead and place your right foot to the ground. Place the left foot to the ground. Hug both knees into your chest. You can scoot your hips over to the right. Drop the knees to the left, coming into a fetal position. Look out to the right palm, coming into a supine twist here. And so right now, just take a moment to acknowledge how you would like to feel. How do you want to feel right now? You want to feel healthy. You want to feel peaceful. You want to feel content. You want to feel spacious. You want to feel accepting. Whatever it is you want to feel, acknowledge it. Know how you'd like to feel. And then make statements to support those feelings. So thinking to yourself, I am peaceful. I am healthy. I am resilient. I am strong. I am joyful. I am spacious. I am safe. I am at home in myself. I am at home in the world. However you want to feel, recognize that and practice feeling it by making a powerful, positive declaration or statement around it. Come back center, scoot your hips over to the left, drop the knees to the right, look out to see the left palm, left shoulder softens down. Inhale, come back center, hug the knees into the chest. Take a happy baby, shine the soles of the feet up, flex your feet, draw the knees down towards the armpits, and you can rock a little bit. I love rocking, it's just so soothing. Or you could start to open one leg out at a time for ecstatic baby. You might even like to hold a straddle position in the air here. Maybe nice to turn your head a little bit side to side if you're like me and your neck is one of those places that you hold on to a lot of tension. And then draw your feet together. Open the knees out to the sides. You can grab for the outer edges of your feet, maybe even interlacing the hands if possible, and feel the knees reach out away from one another, like a Baddha Konasana in the air. Keep your shoulders soft. Breathe. And then you can go ahead, squeeze the knees into the chest, giving yourself a nice little hug for a beautiful job today. And then you can let the legs release and take rest, Savasana. And let yourself heavy towards the earth beneath you. Feeling the weight of your physical body releasing, and feel that Mama Earth has got you. You can release the weight of yourself into her. And with that, if there's any heaviness in your heart or worry and heaviness inside of your mind, just practice letting that go, knowing that the earth can take it and she will utilize it as fertilizer for something else, something better, something serving. So when we consciously choose to empty ourselves of that which no longer serves us, it makes space for something else to come in that will. And as we empty ourselves out, it's also important to remember that emptiness is the grounds for all fullness. So practicing detaching, releasing, letting go, surrendering, letting go of our grip on things, our expectation around things, our fear around things. Let it all go. Let go. Let go. And you're welcome to remain relaxing as long as you would like to. If you would like to come out of it, you can take a big stretch, arms and legs long like you're yawning out the body and beginning anew. You can roll to one side into a fetal position and pause. And then come on up to a comfortable seat, sitting tall. Close the eyes. You might like to sit on something to elevate your base. Feel yourself once again choosing to relax into your reality as you choose to relax within yourself. Noticing the difference that the practice has brought and recognizing that you made the difference, no one else. Your effort, your time made the difference to hopefully you feeling better in any large or small way. And so just feeling a sense of divine pride in the good work that you've just done today, for committing to a well-being practice, for taking care of yourself during these changing and uncertain times. And with that, let's also take a moment, bring your hands to a prayer at your heart, and remembering how you would like to feel, and just gathering all those good feelings up. Feeling at peace and content, strong, resilient, open. And remember that however you want to feel is how everyone wants to feel. We all want to feel the same way. We all want to feel safe and healthy and happy. We all want to feel peace in our world and within ourselves. So think of somebody you know that would also for sure like to feel the way you'd like to feel. And share the gift of your practice with them. And you can see that they receive the gift of this practice and that it brings those same beautiful feelings to them. And that desire, that wish for their happiness, their well-being is like you putting a netting of protection around them in the form of prayer and goodwill. And so with that, you've done a really, really beautiful job today. Thank you so much for your time and your effort And I hope to do this again with you very soon. Until then, namaste. Take care. Stay home. Stay safe. Stay healthy. And be well.